BJ Mafia, what's poppin'? First thing I've got to say is, man, Jags fans, it feels so good to be back on the channel, sitting here actually talking about Jaguars football. If you guys just have not been paying attention, first of all, there's not really much news going on with the Jaguars right now, as we're kind of just really going through OTAs as of right now, but also just I haven't really gotten a lot of time to get around to talking about Jags football, man. Not only is it kind of a dead point in the offseason, but I've just been extremely busy. Life has been busy, and not every day I can get around to making a video, and it breaks my heart because I want to talk about my Jaguars. But as the offseason continues to progress and things really start to kind of heat up and gear towards the season, there's going to be a whole lot more propaganda, and trust me, there's going to be a lot of propaganda I'm going to be pushing here this off season. But Jags fans, as you guys can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 potential Jaguars who are going to break out in 2023, and I think that this list may come as a surprise to many of you in today's video. But Jags fans, before we really get into my list and talking about today's video, if you guys please could go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it helps me and the channel out tremendously. Make sure you guys also go ahead and hit that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. And make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below. But Jags fans, let's really get into today's video. So before we really talk about number 5 and work our way up to number 1, let's actually talk about an honorable mention. And my honorable mention is going to come with running back from the University of Clemson, Travis Etienne. Now, Travis Etienne really played in his first full season last year for the Jaguars after he had that Liz Frank injury in the 2021 campaign, which sat him out through the entire rookie season. But Travis Etienne was nothing short of spectacular in his first full season in the NFL when the Jaguars exceeded everybody's expectations. Travis Etienne had 221 attempts on the ground, 1,120 yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns. He also contributed in the receiving department with 35 receptions for 316 yards. And when you add that all up, that's 1,436 scrimmage yards combined. Travis Etienne proved to be worthy of that first round selection that he got in 2021. He was someone I was extremely ecstatic about when we drafted him because I didn't look at him as just a running back. I looked at him as a dynamic playmaker, and that's exactly what he was. I could only imagine the type of numbers that a guy like Travis Etienne would have posted had James Robinson not really been carrying a lot of the running back duties the first beginning part of the season before Travis Etienne really got the full running back 1 responsibilities before J-Rob went to the New York Jets. And Travis Etienne, like I said, nothing short of spectacular in his first full season in the NFL, and I continue to expect him to only get better. And even though he did have the fumbling issue last year in his rookie season, he had a lot of big plays for the Jaguars, and he obviously sealed the deal on that 4th and 1 play that none of us will forget. Travis Etienne is my honorable mention. Now getting into my number 5 potential breakout candidate for the Jacksonville Jaguars this season, it's going to come with wide receiver Calvin Ridley, who's going to be making his Jaguars debut this season with the team after he was acquired from the Atlanta Falcons by the Jaguars at the trade deadline this past season. And Calvin Ridley obviously served his full 1-year suspension in 2022. In 2021, when you go back to the last time he played, he only played in 5 games. And in those 5 games that he played in 2021, he posted 31 receptions, 281 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But go back just 1 season to 2020 when he was a second-team All-Pro wide receiver. In 15 games that season, he posted 90 receptions, 1,374 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Calvin Ridley was nothing short of spectacular. Calvin Ridley proved to be one of the top-tier elite wide receivers in the game. And Calvin Ridley, I expect to have another surge into his career this season with the Jaguars, as he's currently on the last year of his rookie contract after coming into the NFL back in 2018 out of the Crimson Tide. And Calvin Ridley truly is one of the best wide receivers in the game. Don't even take my word for it. Take Davante Adams' word from it when he said that Calvin Ridley is a top 5 wide receiver on that podcast a couple of weeks ago. I don't have the clip with me right now, but Davante Adams said it himself. He's obviously one of the best route runners in the game today. His footwork is absolutely impeccable. Calvin Ridley is a great 50-50 ball hawk, point of attack receiver, and Calvin Ridley we know can dominate one-on-one matchups, and he's only going to make life easier for other guys like Jamal Agnew, Zay Jones, Parker Washington, Christian Kirk. The list goes on. Calvin Ridley is that dual threat X wide receiver who's just going to dominate this year in the NFL. That's why he's going to be another breakout candidate for the Jaguars. Let's get into number 4. But getting into my number 4 candidate, give me edge from the University of Kentucky, Josh Allen. Not only is he the best Josh Allen in the NFL, he's got a lot to prove this year, and that's exactly why he's going to be a breakout candidate this year, because he's in a fifth-year option on the last year of his rookie contract. In a contract year, we know how guys play in a contract year. Jawaan Taylor was the perfect example of it, and Jawaan Taylor I still think is a phenomenal right tackle. He got his big payday by the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Allen's going to absolutely have a dominant year this year for the Jaguars. He's going to post the best season of his career, and I expect him to truly do some phenomenal things this season. When I talk about what Josh Allen did, he has not truly gotten back to his form since his rookie season, where he posted 10.5 sacks that season alongside Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngakoue. But this past season, when you look at what Josh Allen did this year in the regular and postseason combined per PFF, Josh Allen recorded 7 sacks, 77 QB pressures, 21 QB hits, 49 quarterback hurries, and 4 forced fumbles, which was second in the NFL among all defensive players. Josh Allen at 6'5" clearly is a physical specimen. I do think that there's times where it looks like he's completely ghosted and he's completely disappeared, but I think that when you actually go back and really watch the tape of last season and you saw the impact that he was consistently making, and he was a big catalyst as to why the Jaguars front seven really heated up towards the back half of next season. Expect Josh Allen, especially going into year 5 in a contract year where he knows he's trying to get paid, and I really do want to re-sign Josh Allen if all the circumstances work out together. He's going to ball out this year. That's why he's my number 4 breakout candidate. Now getting into my number 3 candidate for the Jaguars, it's going to come with former second-round pick in the 2021 NFL Draft for the Jaguars, cornerback Tyson Campbell. Now, Tyson Campbell really came into his own in his sophomore year. I think you really saw a sophomore surge from him, because in his rookie campaign, he really struggled in those first 9 to 10 weeks of the season, really wasn't doing a great job locating the ball, and just was not this corner that everybody expected him to be. But we saw the physical intangibles that he possessed, and he really started to put it together in the back half of his rookie season. But he really carried the rest of that momentum and worked on his game in the offseason, and you saw the kind of campaign that he put together in 2022. In 2022, Tyson Campbell per PFF was the 5th highest graded cornerback in the entire NFL. He recorded 63 tackles, had 3 interceptions, and just a 60.9 completion percentage when targeted in coverage. I think when you saw the Jaguars really make the switch from Shaquille Griffin, who ended up missing the rest of the season after that injury, and the Jaguars decided to put Darius Williams on the outside in his natural position, you really saw Tyson Campbell really take that next step up in his sophomore season, playing with a lot more confidence and really just being a shutdown corner. Tyson Campbell, to me, he already kind of had a breakout season, but I expect him this year to really get that Pro Bowl nod and to really get his recognition that he absolutely deserves. Now getting into my number 2 candidate for the Jaguars to break out in 2023, it's going to be another Bulldog, former first overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, Trayvon Walker. Now, I did actually just make a full entire in-depth video talking about how Trayvon Walker will dominate the NFL in year 2 just about a week or 2 ago. If you guys want to go ahead and see my full thoughts and full breakdown with that video, I will go ahead and link to it up above. But just to give you guys a quick brief rundown about why I truly believe in Trayvon Walker, it's because I see him as Khalil Mack 2.0, right? Khalil Mack, when he came into the NFL and was drafted by the Oakland Raiders, he really struggled to find his footing in his rookie season, right? Khalil Mack only recorded 71 tackles, 4 sacks, 10 QB hits, and 54 quarterback pressures in his rookie year. And then you kind of compare those numbers to a guy in Trayvon Walker in his rookie campaign, where he had 47 total tackles, 5 sacks, 8 QB hits, and 43 QB pressures. Then you take a look at what Khalil Mack did in his second year in the NFL when he burst out onto the scene as one of the premier edge rushers in the game at 58 tackles, 16 sacks, 8 QB hits, and 82 quarterback pressures. And sure, only time will tell with Trayvon Walker in his second season, but the reason I believe in him so much is not only because I truly believe in the athletic ability of Trayvon Walker, a guy who ran a 4.51 at the 40, was just an absolute athletic freak and a combine freak. He's just way too dominant and big and physical as a specimen and as an athlete to just not dominate the game, right? We saw potential and we saw a lot of flashes in his rookie season of him asserting himself and really dominating NFL defensive lines and really getting double teamed more often than not. But another reason why I believe in Trayvon Walker so much going into year 2 is because of the depth around him and a guy like Josh Allen, who I already briefly talked about, going into a contract year, right? If Josh Allen's going to play his absolute ass off and have the best year of his career in order to get that big payday, expect a lot of that pressure to be taken off of Trayvon Walker as he continues to develop into the NFL game, refine his skills, and to continue just dominating at the next level. He's only 22 years of age, right? This guy is literally my age. Trayvon Walker is going to dominate the NFL in year 2. That's why he's my second breakout candidate. And then my number 1 breakout candidate for the Jaguars in 2023, if you couldn't guess, I'm sure you could guess now. It's going to come with quarterback at the helm, William Trevor Lawrence, aka Mr. Sunshine, the prince that was promised, Jacksonville's Jesus, whatever nickname you have for him. Trevor Lawrence is that guy, and he really asserted himself into that upper echelon of great to elite quarterbacks in the NFL last season. Now, I don't need to go through the whole story, but I'm going to briefly run through it. We know how bad Trevor Lawrence was in his rookie season. Some of it his fault, some of it not his fault. Don't need to get into the whole story, but Trevor Lawrence, his rookie season, 3,641 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. He did not do a great job completing the ball as well, too. Really struggled with some accuracy issues, 59.6 completion percentage. And then when you look at his sophomore season, this guy absolutely ascended before our very eyes in his first year under Doug Peterson. With the regular and postseason combined, threw for 4,618 yards, had 30 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, and completed 65.5% of his passes. And he did a great job using his legs as well too. 291 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. I truly expect Trevor Lawrence to not only take another leap this year, especially when you add in the fact that he's going to be in year 2 under Doug Peterson, his 3rd year in the league, and with a much more talented offense and offensive skill position guys around him. When you talk about guys like Tank Bigsby also getting drafted in the backfield with Dearness Johnston and JaMychal Hasty and Travis Etienne in the backfield. You look at Brenton Strange, Evan Ingram is back. Then you look at the wide receiver core, and obviously you're going to talk about Calvin Ridley, Jamal Agnew, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. The list goes on. Trevor Lawrence is going to dominate not only because he's learned and he's continued to refine his skills. He's got great skill position guys around him. He's going into year 2 under Doug Peterson, and you know what we saw with the quarterback going into year 2 under Doug Peterson? Carson Wentz in 2017, which was a million light years ago. Carson Wentz was the leading MVP candidate in year 2 under Doug Peterson, as Carson Wentz in 2017, before he got injured, in 13 games, 3,296 yards, 33 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Expect Trevor Lawrence to be in that MVP conversation this year. I'm not saying he's going to win MVP, right? That could be propaganda for another date and time, but Trevor Lawrence is absolutely going to assert himself as a definitive top 5 quarterback in the NFL game. I already believe he's top 5, but of course I'm biased. He's going to be in the top 5 conversation in the MVP discussions this year, and the Jaguars are going to go as Trevor Lawrence goes. We've got the quarterback, we've got the head coach. They continue to dominate. They continue to take us to heights that we have not seen in an extremely long time. Trevor Lawrence is that guy. We all believe in him. But Jaguar fans, that's it for this video. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on my list down below. Now, obviously, there's other guys on this list that I would have loved to have included, especially guys like Devin Lloyd and Andre Sisco. And obviously, my list had a lot of guys predominantly on the defense because I truly do believe in this defense. But at the end of the day, I can't fit everybody on this list. Jags fans, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Who to you is one big potential breakout candidate for you guys? Like I said, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But Jags fans, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it helps me and the channel out tremendously. Make sure you guys also go ahead and hit the subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. And make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below. But Jags fans, thanks again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Go Jags, baby. Peace.